Thanks to the help of the angel wings, Song Chang-ji began to fly, and his eyes expanded with malice, making a confident smile appear on his face. He knew that both Jiang Shanji and Jiulingqiu were watching everything from outside the secret realm. He asked what they felt at this moment and whether Jiang Shanji remembered when he had killed his sister on the northern battlefield in the cave back then, revealing that today he had come to cut the roots of their great seer. Jiu Kaishan's attention and everyone's was fixed on that. They were somewhat confused as they did not know how a member of the tanking divine clan had been able to infiltrate. No one could hear what he was saying since the surveillance system had no audio. Someone among them could read lips and finally revealed that an anomaly had occurred in the secret realm. And Song Chang-ji had trapped the remaining geniuses and was planning to execute their strongest geniuses in front of everyone. Song Chang-ji's eyes began to shine with rage, with a piercing gaze. He extended his hand towards Jiang and the others and then used his power, making threads emerge from his fingers. Jiu Kaishan's gaze and Zai Zinu's father's gaze fixed on him. The father quickly realized that this was the innate ability of the tanking divine clan called 1,000 Threads. A panic, since this ability allowed the user to weave a net with countless souls intertwined like a cursed rope, being especially effective for annihilating divine souls. Jiu Kaishan became alert as he knew this was not good. Jiang and the others were trapped inside the secret realm and couldn't even self-destruct to escape, and if their souls were erased, they would die. The general of the war zone of the capital lost his composure and with a furious gaze launched a powerful attack towards Yan Zhentian, shattering the ground into pieces. He was furious since he had betrayed Dahlia. Yan Zhentian put his arms in front of his face and blocked the attack, swearing not to know that Song Chang-ji was a member of the divine clan tanking. The general's eyes began to shine with hatred. He clenched his fist and with a furious expression said that he was going to kill him since Yan Zhentian was the only descendant of the human emperor, their last hope. Yan Zhentian stood firm in his word and explained that he had nothing to do with the divine clan tanking, and even if he died, he would not be able to save Yan Zhentian. Just before things could escalate to the next level, a powerful burst of energy descended to the ground right in the middle of them. Yan Zhentian turned his head toward the burst of energy and the general stopped dead in his tracks. They did not take long to realize that this was the energy of the god of the sword and the god of war. Yan Zhentian's eyes widened in surprise as Jiulingqiu and Jiang Shanji emerged from the burst of energy. Jiulingqiu clenched his fists and with a serious gaze began to look to the side. He could not believe that over such a small matter as this, they had already panicked, realizing that they had been living in peace for too long. Jiang Shanji, who had his arms behind his back, began to stare at the general, and with a calm expression asked if all of them were going to surrender to the enemy if one day the entrance of the underground cave was attacked and destroyed. The general swallowed saliva, began to observe Jiang Shanji and did not say a single word. Jiang Shanji approached the king of the celestial sword and fixed his gaze on him. He asked how many offspring Jiang Chen's 9 miasma wings had produced. If he had more than 100,000 offspring, then he could use them to cause an explosion that could turn this situation. Fu Caxion's eyes widened in surprise and confusion. With an uncertain gaze he replied that he did not know since he had never asked Jiang Chen about it. Jiang Shanji's eyes began to shine with seriousness as he remembered that no more than a week ago, Jiang had used more than 1 million offspring, realizing that raising 100,000 more was an impossible task. While he was distracted, Jiulingqiu approached and with a suspicious gaze said that although it was a shame that the lives of the geniuses were in danger, this was more than a coincidence. Upon hearing this, Jiang Shanji came out of his trance and his mind was filled with curiosity and surprise. Jiulingqiu explained that the divine tanking race was in the deepest part of the underground cave, and wanting to disguise themselves and come to Dahlia was not an easy thing. He had a vague feeling that similar events were going to take place in other locations. Jiang Shanji's eyes filled with concern. He began to gaze at the ground and thought that he was right, but he reminded Jiulingqiu that his main body was suppressing the underground cave, so there should be no problems with it. He began to imagine a scientific facility and mentioned that if more related events were going to take place, then it should be at Dahiya's main headquarters. Besides the headquarters, there were also the 9 forbidden zones, such as the Whitebone Temple located deep within Kinling. Jiulinkyu felt something, turned around, and with a gaze full of fear revealed that the related events were about to begin. Just then, at the top of the cliff, a red temple appeared, which began to emit an evil energy, and in front appeared a man. Everyone's attention was fixed on the temple. They were in shock, not knowing if this was an illusion. They noticed that the man did not have the appearance of the human appearance, nor the appearance of the living. He was an old man. His eyes began to shine with malice, and a smile appeared on his face when he explained that the appearance of the self was precisely having no appearance, and that when all appearances were separated, they were called Buddhas. He recognized 2 of his old friends and introduced himself as a monk with diamond sutra. Without losing a second, Jiulinkyu drew his sword, began to point at the monk with it, and with a furious expression, he demanded to know what the old monk from the Whitebone Temple was doing here and how he dared to come out at this moment to cause trouble. Jiang Shanji turned around and his attention fixed on the monk. He began to observe him with a serene expression. A wicked smile spread across the monk's face as he revealed that all the young people here were going to hear his sutra, and would soon attain enlightenment. Jiulinkyu became alert and turned around without knowing what the monk had in mind. Just then, a strange energy appeared in the place, slowly affecting all the geniuses, making their eyes turn white. Seeing this, Jiulinkyu quickly realized that the monk's target was Daji's geniuses. Jiang Shanji knew that this was not good. While his eyes were shining, he began to shout and asked the geniuses to wake up and not fall into the trap. Upon hearing his voice, most of the young people woke up, their eyes widened with surprise and fear, making them sweat. Some of the geniuses did not wake up, while on the other side, a brown-haired girl opened her eyes and with a gaze full of terror began to gasp heavily. The eyes of the boy who was next to her widened in surprise. He placed his hand on his chest and could not help but panic without knowing what was happening. The monk became angry and mentioned that preventing others from understanding the Tao was not tolerated by the celestial mandate, advising them to be careful with divine retribution. Upon hearing this, the attention of Jiulinkyu and Jiang Shanji was fixed on him. Just then, the heads of the geniuses who had not woken up were cut into pieces. The boy and the girl turned around, and upon seeing this, their jaws dropped and their eyes widened in fear. The monk explained that fortunately, the blessed geniuses had already ascended. For him, it was a pity because if Jiang Shanji had not intervened, in just 2 more seconds, more geniuses would have ascended to supreme bliss. Jiulinkyu could no longer contain himself. He gathered momentum and with a leap began advancing toward the monk with a gaze full of hatred. He decided to take care of this demonic monk since when he cut him into pieces, he would not have the strength to attack. He also explained to Shanji that the change in the secret realm was only the beginning and that a single movement could affect the entire body. Asking him to stand firm and return to the cave, Jiang Shanji looked to the side and saw black smoke emerging. His attention fixed on them and he did not take long to realize that a great calamity was upon Dahiya. With a determined expression, he called the attention of all the kingdom's guardians, giving them the order to return to their war zones to defend them, and that there must be no mistakes. All the kingdom's guardians jumped and began to return to their posts. They knew that the general situation was important, swearing to Jiang Shanji to protect Dahiya with their lives and redeem their sins with merits. Shanji's attention, who had his arms behind his back, and Jiu Kaishan's attention were fixed on them. They began to ponder in silence. Jiu Kaishan turned his back and with a gaze full of determination revealed that if Jiang Chen lost his life in the secret realm, once this was over, he was going to follow Jiang Shanji to the cave and annihilate the entire tanking divine tribe. At first, Jiang Shanji remained silent. But then his eyes widened in surprise and something caught his attention. In front of them was a screen showing what was happening in the secret realm. Jiang Shanji and Jiyu Kaishan's eyes widened in surprise as they did not know what was going on. Inside the secret realm, Jiang was standing in front of Song Changji, who was kneeling on the ground and bleeding from his mouth. Seeing this, Jiang Shanji couldn't help but laugh, and although he didn't know the reason, it seemed that there had been an unexpected turn inside the secret realm. Now that Song Changji was kneeling before Jiang Chen, they could be at ease. 5 minutes ago, Ying Zan, whose eyes were shining, placed his hand on the ground and gave the order to his blood-armored dragon to attack. Not far from him was Jiang Wushuing, who with a furious gaze, ordered his god of war body to tear Song Changji into pieces for him. Most of them were injured. The attention of Song Changji, who was flying, focused on them. He couldn't help but smile and asked why they were wasting their strength and if they didn't know that the more they exerted themselves, the more they would suffer from the reaction of their own power. He told them not to rush because once he finished refining the souls of the beautiful girls, it would be their turn. He used his power, causing the threads to wrap around the bodies of Zai Shanyu, Mu Henkyu, and Yu Osandao, who opened their mouths and began to scream in pain. Song Changji decided to first break their spiritual forces. Jiang, who had his hand on his knee, began to stand up and his eyes started to shine with rage, making him clench his teeth. Little Nine was eager to eat meat. But Jiang asked her not to rush since unless it was absolutely necessary, she could not expose herself. He asked her to wait as he was going to think of a solution. Now that Little Nine was so hungry, she was capable of killing her opponent with ease. However, Jiang had made a promise not to use Little Nine in this competition. Jiang's gaze fixed on him, apart from Little Nine. He had many cards up his sleeve, but without understanding the opponent enough, he could not be reckless. Otherwise, even if he could protect himself, he would not be able to ensure that his companions did not lose their lives. Song Changji's eyes turned white and a smile spread across his face. Jiang used the system, making his status window appear. His real name was Shu Landuo and he belonged to the Tianqing divine race, being the 19th heir in the line of succession with a level 6 power. He was acting as a secret agent for the Church of the Ancient God and had descended to Dahlia through an abyssal rift, suppressing the source and disguising himself as a genius with a dual profession. The divine Tianqing race occupied the 61st place among the 10,000 races and was a secondary branch of the 3 main primordial divine races. Furthermore, he possessed the Tianyan Pearl, which served to block the perception of the heavenly Tao. With a curious gaze, Jiang began to think and found a way to defeat this guy. He asked if still had the divine and demonic blood essence that they had previously packed in Jialai's sacred treasure. He asked him to give him a drop. Ekshajaya, who was sleeping like a log, revealed that there was nothing left since he had eaten it all. Ekshajaya transformed, and while his eyes were shining, he extended his hand towards Jiang and mentioned that if he wished, he could extract the drop of blood from his body to give it to him. He added that the blood essence he had refined had the same effect as the original with fewer side effects, swearing that he would not explode and die. Upon hearing this, Jiang's eyes filled with joy and a smile appeared on his face. He decided to first use a little blood to break the restriction and save the rest for later. Once Ekshajaya gave Jiang a drop of his blood, he stood up, and his body began to emit a powerful energy. Song Changji's attention was fixed on him. He was confused to see that Jiang could move and did not know how he had escaped from the web of threads. Once Jiang stood up, he used his power to summon a barrier. Seeing this, Song Changji couldn't help but laugh without knowing why he had summoned a barrier. He mocked Jiang by asking if he was afraid of screaming too much when dying, and that others would hear him, making it embarrassing. Jiang stood firm and called Song Changji by his real name, Shu Lando, revealing that he knew about his plans. Song Changji descended to the ground, and while walking towards him, he began looking at the ground and asked who Jiang was and how he knew his real name, remembering that the real name of the 10,000 races had never been revealed. Jiang's body began to emit a penetrating energy. He mentioned that Song Changji was not worthy of knowing who he was. He put his arm in front of his face upon feeling Jing's strong aura. Without knowing if he was an ancestor of the Ming clan, Jing approached him, and while his eyes were shining with hatred, he began to stare at him and ask how the Tianqing divine tribe had become so incompetent, and how the number 19 in the tribe's succession was so foolish. The eyes of the arrogant Song Changji filled with fear. He panicked as he did not expect that Jing also knew his secret position in the line of succession. He wiped the sweat from his chin and his eyes widened in terror, and upon seeing that Jing knew this, he thought that he had a higher position than the leader of his clan. With a trembling voice, he asked if Jing was from the divine tribe. Jing's eyes began to shine. With a suffocating expression he pointed at him and asked if Song Changji could not feel the aura of the ancient god in him. Upon hearing this, he swallowed saliva, realizing that he was going to be crushed. Our boy was furious and mentioned that the church of the ancient god acted too recklessly. He could not believe that they had sent Song Changji here without properly investigating, ruining his plan. For him, the members of the church and Song Changji had to die. Song Changji fell off his knees on the ground, lowered his head before Jing, and begged him to spare his life, explaining that they knew they had made a mistake. For him, not knowing that the god was here had been a misunderstanding, and that the Tianqing divine tribe originally belonged to the primordial divine tribe, which meant that they shared the same roots in origin. He pleaded for Jing to spare his life. Our boy began to look at him in silence. This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, so subscribe to our channel, share the video, and like.